He stuffed his brother's black dental guard into his own mouth. Then he slammed the gas, pushing the car to 180 miles per hour. His partner looked at him, confused. But the moment he turned and saw the car speeding toward them head-on, he instantly understood and pressed a hand over his mouth. The next second, the two cars collided. Porter tossed the dental guard aside, grabbed a pair of heavy cutters, and walked up to the other car. While the driver was unconscious, he cut the chain securing the cash case. Right on cue, Porter's wife pulled up to pick them up. The three of them followed the plan and drove to an abandoned factory. He yanked down a curtain, revealing the new car they'd used to escape, but as his wife counted the money, she realized something was off.
140 grand.
140 apiece.
Total.
Total?
They had expected over $300,000 in the case, but now it had been cut in half. After splitting it evenly, each of them would only get $70,000. That was more than enough for Porter, but Val was furious. To get back into his old gang, he needed to pay a $130,000 fee. On his own, there was no way he could come up with the remaining $60,000. Sensing Val was losing control, Porter took a couple of steps back to keep his distance, then told his wife to grab his share and head home. But just as he was about to leave, Val suddenly revealed a secret.
It's always 140.
Before Porter could react, he heard the sound of a gun being cocked behind him. It was his wife, aiming a gun straight at him. Furious, he reached for his weapon to fight back. Porter was hit multiple times and dropped to the ground. Val quickly moved to the woman's side, calming her down and guiding her into the car. Then he crouched in front of Porter and pulled out a photograph. This was the reason his wife had betrayed him. What she didn't know was that the photo had actually been taken with Porter's ex-girlfriend. Val had exploited that misunderstanding to set him up. Just like that, he took all the cash, and Porter's wife. What no one expected was that a passing doctor would stumble upon Porter. Though he had been shot twice in the back, neither bullet hit a vital organ. The doctor removed them with ease. A few months later, Porter had fully recovered and was back in top condition. Now, he had only one goal: revenge, and getting back his $70,000. That very night, he returned home with a gun. But after searching the place, he found only his wife. Under Val's influence, she had developed a drug addiction. Seeing her in such a miserable state filled Porter with both anger and hatred. With no other choice, he carried her to the bed and gathered up all the drugs in the room. He locked the door from the outside, planning to question her once she sobered up. What he didn't know was that she had hidden another dose in the sole of her shoe. The next day, when he opened the door, he found she had overdosed and died. As he stood there, unsure what to do, urgent knocking suddenly came from outside. He quietly approached the door and looked through the peephole. It was just a small-time dealer. He opened the door and, under the man's stunned gaze, raised his right hand. One brutal body blow landed square in the liver, sending the guy into agony. Before he could recover, Porter followed up with a flurry of punches, leaving him completely incapacitated. He began interrogating him about Val's whereabouts, but the man insisted he didn't know him. He was just a low-level runner working for a guy named Derman.
Where is he?
South of Taxi. Farragut Road, man.
Following the lead, Porter tracked down Derman's hideout. He bluntly demanded to see him, but the guard at the door wasn't having it.
You go fuck yourself.
Cut to the next moment, the guard stumbled into the room, clutching his bleeding head, while Porter stood calmly behind him. He got straight to the point and asked for Derman, but unexpectedly, two cops were also in the room. They flashed their badges, trying to intimidate him. Porter could only raise his hands in mock surrender.
Hey! Fuck, no! Not in here. Jesus, guys, he wants to talk. Am I right?
Then he pulled out a few packets of drugs and tossed them in front of them. Derman's face changed instantly. He quickly revealed his identity and escorted Porter outside. Even so, he made it clear, he had no idea where Val was, only that he had rejoined his old gang. But not long after Porter left, Derman called Val and warned him that someone was coming for revenge.
Get a name?
He said his name was Porter.
Whoa. He said he was there for Porter?
No, he said he was Porter.
Hearing this, Val's face twitched in fear. How could someone who had been shot twice still be alive? As he panicked over what to do, Porter tracked down his ex-girlfriend. Since she also worked for the gang, she had to know where Val was. Helping him would mean betraying the gang, and risking her life. In the end, caught between love and survival, Lucy told him Val's address. A man suddenly woke from his sleep to find a stranger standing at the foot of his bed. Startled, he reached for the gun on the cabinet, but it had already been taken. Porter stepped closer and demanded the $70,000 Val owed him. But Val had already paid $130,000 to the gang. He didn't have a single dollar left. Porter didn't care. He gave Val half a day, either come up with the money, or pay with his life. With nowhere else to turn, Val went to the gang's third-in-command the next day for help. But once money goes into the gang's hands, it never comes back, and besides, this was his personal problem. The man told him to either deal with it himself, or go die. Humiliated and desperate, Val left. But as soon as he was gone, the third-in-command sent people to keep an eye on him. If things went wrong, they'd kill both men. With no other options, Val called a Chinese gang and tipped them off, claiming Porter had stolen their money, hoping they'd take care of him instead. Sure enough, at noon, when it was time to pay up, Porter had just stepped into the street, when a car suddenly sped toward him and slammed into him head-on. Several large men jumped out, surrounding him. They pinned him against the hood of the car, and one of them pulled out a butterfly knife, flipping it skillfully in his hand. Just as they were about to castrate him, the sound of police sirens suddenly echoed in the distance. Not daring to linger, the group immediately fled the scene. As for the two cops who had shown up earlier, they weren't clean either. Somehow, they had learned that Porter was going after the mob for money. Greed got the better of them. They wanted a cut. Even though Porter explained he was just taking back his own $70,000, the two crooked cops clearly didn't believe a word.
Take this for, huh? Idiots? Nobody go through all this shit for 70 grand.
Unarmed, Porter had no choice but to play along, but he wasn't about to sit still. He quietly stole one of their badges. Afterward, he returned to Lucy's place to treat his wounds, completely unaware that Val was secretly following him. Just as Porter finished up and left, Val arrived by elevator, and the two unknowingly passed each other. Val knocked on Lucy's door. Not knowing what was going on, he opened it, only to find a gun pointed straight at his forehead. At this point, he didn't realize Porter had already left. Holding Lucy hostage, he cautiously searched every room. But the moment they stepped into the bedroom, a vicious dog suddenly lunged from the bed. Lucy grabbed a bat and tried to fight back, but she was quickly overpowered and knocked to the ground. Just as Val was about to kill her, something unexpected happened. Porter suddenly appeared, catching him off guard. Val tried to grab the gun hidden on his leg, but Porter shot him in the foot. Sitting down calmly, Porter demanded his money, but Val shifted the blame onto the mob. Impatient, Porter forced him to reveal the location of the gang's third-in-command, then killed him without hesitation. He turned to Lucy and told her to pack up and leave with him. Before long, the two checked into a motel. But just as they sat down, the bedside phone rang. Porter immediately went on alert. No one should have known this number. Suspicious, he reached for the phone, only to notice a thin white wire attached behind it. Following the wire along the floor, he discovered a bomb connected at the other end. If he had answered the phone, he would have been blown to pieces. He rushed to the window and looked outside. Sure enough, a car was watching him. That's when he figured out how to deal with them. Silently, he used a knife to cut the car's fuel line, then tilted it slightly so gasoline would slowly leak onto the street. He walked about 100 yards away and lit a cigarette, waiting until the three men noticed him. Only then did he casually flick the cigarette but to the ground. The moment it touched the gasoline, flames erupted and raced toward them. They didn't even have time to react before being swallowed by fire. Though he took them out with ease, Porter knew he had now fully crossed the mob. That night, he went alone to the third-in-command's residence. After being searched by the guards, he was allowed inside. But the moment he stepped into the office, he struck first, taking down two bodyguards. He picked up one of their guns and calmly walked up to the boss. Though impressed by Porter's skills, the man still saw him as nothing more than a tough thug. Porter didn't care. He just wanted his $70,000 back. The man laughed. The suit he was wearing alone cost over $300,000. Then he mockingly said he wasn't the one in charge. If Porter wanted money, he'd have to talk to the boss. He called John, but John clearly didn't take Porter seriously either.
My money, yes or no? No.
Then, in the very next moment,
You just don't get it, do you, you dumb fuck?
neither of them could have imagined that Porter would kill for $70,000. The reason was simple. During the call, he had learned that John's son was celebrating his birthday that day. A new plan had already formed in his mind. As he left the building, the two crooked cops intercepted him again. Furious that he hadn't gotten the money, they even handed him a gun and demanded he get it within a day. Porter realized that unless he dealt with them first, he'd never be able to focus. So he returned to the apartment, tossed the gun they gave him onto the floor, and placed the stolen badge into Val's hand. Sure enough, the next morning, Internal Affairs showed up and arrested the two cops for murder. With no more loose ends, Porter made his move. That night, he had Lucy dress up beautifully, and they waited at the location of John Jr.'s birthday celebration. Clueless, The young man thought it was a gift from his father and got into the car without suspicion. The moment he sat down, Lucy cuffed him. Completely unaware, John Jr. had no idea disaster was closing in. With a hostage secured, Porter immediately contacted the mob's second-in-command and sent a message to the boss. Return his $70,000, or prepare to collect his son's body. Everything was going according to plan, until Derman intercepted them halfway and took Porter hostage. He planned to hand Porter over to the mob in exchange for a lifetime of comfort. But before he could even celebrate, Porter made his move.
So, you're not gonna fucking kill me, are you?
The driver stopped the car and drew his weapon. Just as things reached a standoff, another car pulled up. It was the Chinese gang from before. After a burst of gunfire, Porter had already slipped beneath their vehicle. With a surprise attack, only one woman survived, but unfortunately, he slipped up and was captured. Luckily, her gun was empty. Slowly, he raised his own weapon. But at that moment, two men appeared and knocked him unconscious. When he woke up, he was already tied up by the mob. Not long after, John arrived, bringing the money Porter wanted, but money he'd never get to spend. John told him that if he gave up his son, he'd grant him a quick death. When Porter refused to speak, one of the men pulled out a hammer and swung it down without hesitation. After smashing two of his toes, Porter finally gave up the address. To prevent any tricks, John locked him in the trunk and brought him along. But John made a critical mistake. He didn't bring Porter upstairs. Because the address Porter gave was the same motel with the bomb. While they went upstairs, Porter broke free, pried open the rear frame with a metal bar, and tore his way out. He quickly grabbed a phone and dialed the room number. Upstairs, John and his men were still fuming about being played. When the phone rang, he answered without hesitation. The next second, the entire motel was blown apart. Just like that, Porter single-handedly wiped out the mob's leadership. Afterward, badly wounded, he found Lucy. With his $70,000 finally back in hand, the two rekindled their relationship and set off to build a new life together.